Counselor Vincent Howell.
Here.
Counselor David A. Unibody Jr.
Here.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We do have a quorum.
Thank you. Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Counselor Lee, if you do the moment of silence.
I'm on the thanks for all of us here, for all the people in Las Vegas and the surrounding areas for awful hailstorm that came down, that everybody's safe and nobody got injured, so just safe in your mind.
Thank you. Mr. Trujillo?
Madam Mayor, members of the council, good evening. First item is approval of the agenda.
What is the pleasure of the board? Any recommendations, or as is? Mr. Trujillo?
As is.
As is? Okay. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam Mayor,
Counselor Casey?
I move approval of the agenda as presented.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Counselor Unibody Jr.
Yes, ma'am.
Counselor Romero.
Yes.
Counselor Casey.
Yes.
Counselor Howell.
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Howell. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item is public input. There is none.
Okay.
And we move on to discussion items. Number 1, award request for proposals 2018-2 for engineering services for dams and reservoirs of ACOM and enter into an agreement. Maria Gilveri will present.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Councilors, Mr. Manager. I'm here to request awardment of the proposal, as the City Manager mentioned. This is for engineering services for dams and reservoirs. Currently, we are needing to continue with the Bradner project. So this will include engineering services for the rehabilitation of Bradner, which is currently underway, but we did have to put it on hold because the engineer's contract expired on June 30th. So by getting the engineer back under contract, we'll be able to continue with the project. We did have we had 3 proposers, but only 2 of them ended up being qualified, and AECOM ended up ranking higher. The second one was Bohannon Houston.
Questions, comments?
Madam Mayor.
Counselor Casey?
Okay, just so that I have everything straight in my mind,
Yes,
because, you know, we've done so many steps in so many different meetings. Back in May, we had a presentation by Don Poulter
Yes.
on Brasher. He's from URS.
URS, AECOM. URS was purchased by AECOM.
Okay.
All our contracts had been
Oh, okay,
done with
so
URS
they're-
at the time.
They're merged.
So we kept the name, and they're still called URS at AECOM or something like that. But AECOM
Okay.
is the parent company.
Okay, and so, I understand that they don't charge unless they do something, correct?
Correct, correct. There is the engineer will not be compensated unless there is work done.
Right. And so, this says, and I guess maybe it's the language that needs to be explained to me, because it says for engineering services for dams and reservoirs. That's fine, but we only have, what, $9 million left, more or less? So where do we get the money to do the actual building if this is all for engineering services?
No, the funding source is the legislative appropriations, so any work that they do will be paid out of that, but the construction will also be paid out of that. And we've actually already encumbered all of the funds for the engineering services.
Okay.
They've been encumbered out of the tobacco funds, which the engineering services for construction is about 1.5 million. And that's already been encumbered. The state engineer has already reviewed that contract. That was actually done in the prior contract that expired in June. So the state engineer had already reviewed it, approved the costing, and approved it coming out of the tobacco fund, and therefore encumbered those funds.
Okay, so the 1.5 tobacco fund
Is not part of this
for-
8, is actually not part of this 8 million.
Yeah,
The 8
but-
million is
yeah,
left for
but-
construction.
Okay, so the 1.5 tobacco fund is for
Engineering services for, yes,
engineering
ma'am.
services. Okay,
Yes,
that's
Counselor.
where I was getting confused, because I was looking at my notes from the May meeting, and it says that by August 1st, the state engineer permit would already be approved. And then the Corps of Engineers, we're still expecting the wetland permit for August 25th? Is it by
Correct.
then?
Yes, we're still on schedule for that.
Okay.
We are a little bit behind schedule because of the delays of getting the engineer back under contract, but we don't expect to be that delayed that much.
Okay.
We did get some pre-qualification proposals from contractors. So there are 3 contractors that are pre-qualified to be able to bid on this, and all 3 of them gave us schedules that are well within our time frame.
Okay, good. I think that clarifies things in my mind because, to be honest, my notes were far from organized because, you know, somebody's talking and you're writing madly to try to remember things. And when I went back to look at them, I thought, oh, this doesn't even make sense to me. I better ask. So thank you so much.
Yes, Counselor.
Any other questions? Councilor Howell?
Madam Mayor, thank you. Ms. Gilberry, this is just a minor point. I was looking at the evaluation sheets, and number 3, it says past record and performance of the proposer,
Yes.
and number 4 says familiarity with contracting agency. Now,
Yes.
if we rate them high on the past record and performance, then why is the number 5 familiarity or number 4 familiarity and contract agency have to be evaluated?
Okay, so past record and performance is the projects that are provided by the engineer in their proposal. So we look at the performance and the history in their proposal to determine what their past record of performance is. And that's why, if you notice, both Bohannon and AECOM were ranked high, because they both provided excellent records of similar projects. Familiarity with contracting agency, AECOM has been working with us. I have never worked with Bohannon Houston. So
Okay.
they have much more experience
So
recently
it's a one-on-one,
with the city and especially the current projects that we're working on.
so it's a one-on-one familiarity rather than looking at records and,
So past record is 3, and that could be anywhere in the state, anywhere in the country, experiences, and familiarity with contracting agency is familiarity with the city and the city's conditions and needs.
okay, thank you. That's it.
Any other questions?
I have a question. Who does your evaluation?
It's normally project management. In this case, it was project management. It was the water treatment plant manager, the water treatment, or the water distribution manager, were the 4, I believe it was the 4 personnel who ranked them. So they're going to be involved in the construction
Right.
project. That's why they're involved in the
Are you
rankings.
involved with the evaluation?
Yes. I normally am. I was actually not here when the evaluation occurred, so I could not be involved this time.
Councilor Howell?
Thank you. I understand this is for engineering services.
This contract, this RFP is for engineering services. Yes, Councilor.
When do you project going out for construction?
We
services?
received comments from the state engineer on the plans about 2 weeks ago, I believe. As soon as they're able to address those requested changes by the state engineer, we will be able to go out to bid. So I still expect within the next month or 2, following getting the engineer back under contract.
Okay, so that would mean about November?
September, October, we should be able to go out to bid. Yes,
Okay.
Councilor.
And you'll go out for many contractors or specific?
We'd already done what's called a RFQ, a pre-qualification.
Right. I remember
So that we could qualify contractors who have done something similar to this. This is a huge project. So we could pre-qualify contractors. And we had 3 respondents, and all 3 of them are qualified.
Could you refresh my memory on those 3, please?
Counselor, I'd have to get back with you. I honestly can't remember the name of the 3. I think Hewitt was one. Counselor, I'd like to get back with you on that. They were 3 well-known companies, though.
Okay.
Are they, I'm sorry,
No, go ahead.
are they local or all of them out of state?
One of them is from Colorado, 2 are from New Mexico.
And New Mexico, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, where?
I'd have to get back with you on that, Mayor. I believe it's Albuquerque. Both of them are Albuquerque. One of them is a national company that has offices in Albuquerque.
Okay.
They do several of the major projects in Albuquerque and Santa Fe.
They're all related to dam work.
They have done, they're all capable, and they all have experience and history doing dams and reservoirs. Yes, Council.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a question, Ms. Gilberry.
Yes, ma'am.
You stated that you ranked and rated them on the actual item number 3 with regards to past experience, but did you use the state statute on responsive bidding? That's the actual key. As long as they're responsive bidders, you have to treat them fairly.
Yes, and we do treat them fairly. We have to treat them based on what they submit in their packages. So all the packages were reviewed, and they were ranked and rated based on the packages that they had submitted.
Okay, and then none of them have been red flagged, anything like that?
No.
Okay. Okay, I have no further questions. What is the pleasure of the board? Counselor Casey, is that you?
We don't make a
She's gonna,
Consent?
Oh, consent
This is-
agenda?
consent.
We don't vote today.
no, I
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
That was- Okay, consent?
Yes.
The pleasure of the board, consent.
Consent.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Do we have any need for executive session? Counselor Howell?
I believe we do.
Oh, okay. And could you please enlighten us as to what it is that we're going to discuss in a second?
Yes, okay. I'd like to go into executive, make a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel matters as permitted by section 10-15-1-H2 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act, NMSA 1978.
Okay,
Second.
roll call?
Counselor Casey?
Madam Mayor?
Madam,
Yes.
Madam Mayor, if I may ask to
Intervene, absolutely, please do.
the motion to add an additional purpose for executive session to discuss pending litigation, I'd just like to
Oh,
give
great,
the
that's
council
awesome.
a little bit of an update on a couple of things.
Great. Is that okay? Counselor Howell, you made the motion? Okay,
That's
great.
fine.
There's an amendment to the actual motion. Is there a second again?
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Lee Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Howell, a second by Counselor Romero. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Okay, let's go into executive session.
Discussion of pending litigation. And this is as per section 10.15-1, of the New Mexico Open Meeting Act, NMSA 1978.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Counselor Lee Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Howell, a second by Counselor Casey and Counselor Romero. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Okay. Now I need a motion to adjourn.
Madam Mayor,
Counselor Howell.
if I may, I need to ask a question to the manager.
Oh, absolutely.
Mr. Manager, due to the recent weather conditions we've had, do you have a plan, or what's your plan of action in addressing a lot of the concerns from our community members?
okay.
Don't mind giving us a report?
Yeah, I'll give you a pretty good,
Mr. Trujillo,
yes, ma'am.
before you begin, could you reference the OEM plan? That is consistent with the, what the city has done with regards to adopting the OEM
Right.
plan.
right. So I've been working with Leo Mastas, with the OEM on that. I did get a lot of calls because of that flood. They wanted to find out what the state of the emergency was ever enforced or asked for, and it wasn't. But with that, we're going to continue working on those policies and procedures. We need more communication with with the O&M, making sure that everyone's notified in case of flooding and that. So we're going to start working on establishing a one-call area, one point that people could call. The other thing is I'm real happy with the, I had a meeting with the county manager, the Public Works Department from the county, Morris Madrid, the director of the Public Works, and we sat in my office and we put together a plan on how we were going to address a lot of these areas that are being flooded. At the time, we had already started running out of bags, sandbags. And the county manager went ahead and he approved a semi-load with about 17 pallets, I think. Veronica's not here. 17 pallets of sandbags were unloaded at Public Works. They also had the inmates filling the sandbags, and our employees are doing it by hand. So we passed out probably close to 650 bags out there. We were asking, people were coming for bags, but if they needed more than 10, 15, 20, we wanted to see, staff wanted to assess the area to make sure these bags were put in the right places. But we're going to continue doing that. We're going to continue filling the bags. So I will be going on the radio. There will be PSAs about where do we call, where can they pick up sandbags, and we're going to get that information out there.
Okay.
The county has already, Leo Maestas from OEM has already sent out a PSA, so you'll be hearing it on the radio.
Okay. So,
And at this point, Counselor, Madam Mayor and Councilors, the ground is so saturated, any small event is going to cause flooding, and we're seeing that. And it's real hard, and I know you're getting called from constituents. We can't get into alleys, they're that bad. If we send the trucks in there, we might even create a worse situation. But we have crews working on all the main drainages off of A Street and Cinder Road and some other parts of town. We're working on clearing those drainages.
there was a community member that lives on Cinder Road that talked to me on 1631 Cinder Road, and he says that the water comes down because in front of his place it's like this.
Yeah.
It's downhill and then uphill.
Yeah.
So the water just goes in there and then goes into his property. So
And the big problem that we had there is that people have built their homes in a flooded area. It's a floodplain. And they have to prepare it, and they should be building above the water levels and all that to prepare for those storms. But with these types of storms that we're getting, the drainages and the crates, anything that we have in place is not able to divert that water fast enough. So we're going to see more floods. But we have the crews, we have wastewater with their Vector truck. They're trying to clear out all the drainages in town, and we'll continue doing it because this month is going to be a very wet month, and we're going to stay on it.
Okay.
Also, I wanted to let Mayor and Council know that Mr. Carlos Crespin from Crespin Paving donated the sand to fill those sandbags. And I just want to thank him, and on behalf of the city, we'll be sending him a letter of a thank you letter.
Yeah,
But,
appreciate that. That's
yeah,
good.
people have really come together.
Good, good. One more thing. On Diego Street, there's a address 410 Diego. The person who lives on 408 Diego explained to me that the house next to her, which is 410 Diego, has not been lived in for almost 2-3 years.
Okay.
And because of the weather conditions that we've been having, there's weeds way up there and possibly leaks going into the house. And she's concerned about house collapsing or
Okay.
stuff
I'll
like that.
send Levi out there.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
And we have another one on the corner of Palo Verde, across from
Yes. Paminka's house.
Flamingo's house.
Exactly.
That's not, it is vacant, but I'm sure there's a
Well,
lot of damage.
There's a lot of people that have attempted to purchase that home, but because of the flood
Right.
area, they just let it go after a year or two.
But we'll have code enforcement check.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Trujillo,
Yes, ma'am.
How many departments got involved in preparing those sandbags?
I think all the public works, the gas department, the water department were out on Cinder Road trying to clear these areas. So I'm saying a good three departments. We also, thanks to Lee and the IT guys, we have a system now where Public Works and the city manager's executive secretary could communicate about calls coming in, so we're able to address them quicker. And so we have that set up. But I would say there was a good four departments that came together.
And
Plus
could you
the
also-
county.
Could you also follow up with our discussion with the fire chief?
Yes.
With regards to
Yes.
the alarm?
Yes.
And I have one more question. I have the floor.
Go ahead.
So if I'm going to have to take you down on the mat, I guess I'll have to.
Okay, Mrs. Trump.
Anne Marie, where is she? Oh, okay, she's on. Okay, there is a question, and this is for the council, actually, just to apprise you of what's occurring, that is being sent out from the RPC Consulting, the CPA consulting
Yes.
firm. We get it every year, okay? And it's for related parties, and you have to fill out the questionnaire. It's fraud and integrity and ethical values questionnaire. Fill it out, send it back if you wish. That is your prerogative. But don't panic. If you have questions, you can ask
Yeah, I already asked.
Mr. Trujillo or Anne Marie.
Yeah, these are questions they ask every time the auditors come in.
Exactly. Okay, I have no further questions.
Okay, I just have one more.
One more. Counselor
So
Howard.
if a community member wants to get a sandbag tomorrow,
Sure.
where
here.
would they go?
Public Works.
They call Public Works?
Yes.
So that is the command post here within the city.
We have the sandbags.
Okay.
So they can-
But does the county know that, sorry,
That's okay.
sorry, the command post is here at
Yes.
Public Works?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so they will have to come and pick it up, or they will be delivered?
It depends how many bags, but I would like staff to go assess where they want those bags to make sure they're put in a place that we're not going to make it worse.
Okay.
So if they call here, we can send staff and have them look at that area.
Is there a point person to, when they call?
They could ask for Rebecca,
Rebecca?
yes, at Public Works.
Public Works. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Should I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Nemati Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, second by Counselor Howell. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you.